Hello, 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 and we are here again at the Out of the Mud Studios in beautiful downtown Flint. And tonight we are presenting Juice the Truth, episode 16, The Four Agreements. And here's your lovely host, Juice.
What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to Juice the Truth. This is the 16th episode, and I'm speaking nothing but the truth. With it being the beginning of the year, y'all, I just want to start strong and start to get some encouragement for the beginning of the year. Want to introduce y'all. I know most of y'all already know. If you know me, you know him. So I just want to thank my brother for chiming in. Y'all, welcome my brother to Juice the Truth, episode 16, where we are going to discuss the four agreements. What's up, bro?
Nothing much. What's going on with y'all? Thanks for having me
All the
on. I'm
way
ready.
from Denver.
Yeah, we in Colorado. We in Colorado. You know what? We don't got no snow right now on the ground. And I'm outside with
We
no
got
jacket
all the
on.
snow.
I know. I heard. I'm out there with no jacket on like this, just chilling.
See, and people thought Denver was gonna be cold, and it's freezing here. We got all the snow here.
The weather better here.
Yeah, so with it being the beginning of the year, I know at the beginning of the year, most people are always thinking about reinventing themselves. Like that's one of the main things that happen at the beginning of the year. You have a lot of people who want to reinvent themselves and just start anew. So I just want to introduce people to a book that I read that helped me kind of reinvent myself and helped me to get on track with some of the things that was progressing me, that was helping to progress in me. But the book is called The Four Agreements. Have you ever heard of it?
I've never heard of it. This is first time.
So I'm gonna tell you, and this is why I advocate for going to the gym and working out because this was maybe about 3 to 4 years ago. I went to the gym. And anytime you are doing something like a healthy hobby introduce you to people who introduce you to even more healthier hobbies. So while I was at the gym, I met this guy. I do remember his name was Greg. Met Greg, and he introduced me to the book of the Four Life Agreements. So the Four Life Agreements are just some agreements that helps you kind of stay on track and helps you kind of get through some of the situations that you go through and be more confident in yourself. So I do want to go over what the four agreements are. I know this it is a popular book. I know I've talked to people who have read it, and it's definitely a game changer when it comes to trying to better yourself. It is. So the first agreement in the four agreements is to be impeccable with your words. Now we always have been taught to watch what you say. Watch what you say. So to be impeccable with your words is just drafted off of watch what you say.
Yeah,
So I do believe words have a lot of meaning, a lot of energy, and you have to speak life when you speak words. Do you agree?
I agree. You know where that come from?
Where that come from? The Bible.
That comes from the Bible. It
Yeah.
talks about how powerful the tongue is. I feel like a lot of the things that we look at today, this stuff has already been written. We just don't be, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
aware of it, where it come from.
It's been transformed into another version of just self-help.
Yeah,
And anytime you're gonna help yourself, people always say to turn to the Bible. So the four agreements just have some of the agreements that really I feel like God put into what we supposed to be doing as far as being impeccable with your words. You really have to be careful what you say and how you say it. Like it's extremely important to watch your words. So be impeccable with your words, I think, is one of the top things because sometimes we do get kind of off focus and you would speak down on yourself. Have you ever did that? Because I know I have.
yeah. I think everybody pretty much do that. Even when they don't realize it, just subconsciously they do it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's like a self program. And that's something you really have to practice. You don't just wake up and have it like that. That's something to be impeccable with your words is something you really have to study and practice.
Yep, yep. I totally agree. I agree.
Yeah. So that's one of the four agreements that really helped me to kind of reinvent myself and kind of like move forward and not be so negative when you speak about yourself. You always want to speak positive about yourself. So the four agreements, the first one is always be impeccable with your words. So the second one, I'm gonna go to the second one. The second one is it is something I wanted to read about it too. So I'm gonna pull it up on my phone.
About which one? The first one?
Yeah, about the first one, just some points about it. It says to speak integrity, to say only what you mean, to avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about other people. That's a huge one because you can get pulled into gossiping so easily and so quickly, especially when you're around your people. Because if your people gossip, you gonna fall into that gossiping.
Yeah. Yeah, for
And it
sure.
says use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So it's really just saying that you should speak life. Always speak life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
So the second one,
that's a big one.
it is. It is. You got to be careful with your words. The second agreement of the four agreements is don't take anything personal. And that's a huge one because people always seem to get offended even when you're trying not to offend them. Don't take things personally.
What do you think? Why do you think that is though? Why do you think people get offended easily, even if the person is not like trying to offend you?
Um, I don't know. I think it has something to do with a person's their internal, like what they think about themselves. Because you can literally say something about, how something about some hair. You don't like a certain type of hair, and it'll be a person that'll get offended by that if they feel like that they possess what you say you don't like.
Yeah, that come from that. I would say that come from trauma. They don't even.
Yeah.
It's so much trauma that we deal with, and we don't even recognize that it's trauma, um, and things that trigger that trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, something about the
Mhm.
hair. It could have been talked about before. You know what I'm saying? Back in the past or whatever, or just hearing
Yeah,
people talk about it in a negative way, they instantly want to take it like you're talking about them. So
they do. A lot of people
it's a
don't even
trauma
know that they're
response.
equipped with that much trauma, and unless you become self-aware, you will take a lot of stuff personally. I think self-awareness has a lot to do with not taking things personally
Yeah.
because it's easy to get offended over the smallest thing, and it's a lot of disagreements that'll happen over being offended or taking things personally when they really don't have anything to do with you.
What's one of the things that you feel like is one of the biggest things that people take personal?
Um, let's talk about money. Money is a big one. You
Okay.
can use certain words, and if a person feel like most of the time you say somebody broke, if a person really is broke, they'll take that. They'll take that personally, even if you're not even talking about them. They'll take it personally just because they identify with being broke.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that
can see
that
that.
happens a lot,
Mm, I can see that. Um,
and with love as well.
with love,
With
what you
love,
mean?
you can
Explain.
say, okay, as far as like, let's say you're talking to somebody and you say something like, well, I don't want to get married. That person can take it personally, think that you don't want to get married to them. Like they automatically, people are like self
Hmm.
involved. So anytime you say something, people will automatically attach themselves, especially if they feel like you talking about them. You don't even have to be talking about them, but people are self involved like that. And like that, I'm gonna give you an instant. Like I can post something on Facebook, and it can be about one person, and it could be maybe three or four other people who think I'm talking about them. They'll take it personally without
Is
even
it?
knowing if I'm talking about them or not,
Yeah.
just because they identify with whatever I'm saying or whatever issue I say I have.
Yeah. Yeah. I be seeing some of the stuff you posting. There be a lot of people chiming in.
It do.
A lot of people chiming in.
But
Sometimes I
so
just
what was
read it.
the
I be
the
like,
post that I put up recently, which was about do women ever apologize? Do women ever think, dang, I messed up, I need to apologize? I see that had a lot of conversation into it.
did
A
it?
lot of
I
people
seen it
took
for a
that
minute.
personally.
Okay. Yeah, I seen it like when you first put it up, but I didn't look at it like too much longer after that. After I responded.
Yeah, I just had a whole bunch of men in the comments saying, "No, women never apologize. Women never take accountability." Like, so I think that struck a little nerve when I said, when I asked that. And then it was women on there, women who said they do, but then there was also women who say they don't. So they was honest
Women,
about
it
it.
was women that say they don't take accountability.
Yeah, like they don't apologize
Oh, okay. They being
or they
honest.
won't apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, they being honest. And actually, man, an apology is one of the most powerful things that can happen, and people don't even realize it is because even if so, like with the marriage that I'm in, so you got two options: either you want to be right or you
Mhm.
want the relationship to be right. And that's
Mhm.
one of the things that was one of the things I just having to learn is like, even if I'm right, the relationships can still be bad. So it's like, do I want to be right or do I want the relationship to be right? And an apology goes so far only because what people don't even really understand is that it changes the atmosphere. Even if
Yeah,
you're right, apologizing can change the whole atmosphere and get y'all back in good standing
it
just from a
does.
simple apology.
It
And
does.
I don't think people really understand that. They kind of withhold that because they don't want to feel like they're the ones that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they rather be right
Mhm.
instead of rather like fixing it. So
Some
yeah,
people look at it as embarrassment, like, some people are
yeah,
embarrassed to have to apologize. Those people who I think, like, don't apologize to, like, their significant other, people that you really, really love, people who don't apologize to their children when they've done something or said something wrong, like, that's real because the same people who don't apologize to their significant other are the same people who don't apologize to their kids either.
or anybody. They probably don't. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably have a hard time if the thing is, if you have a hard time apologizing to the person who
Mhm.
you invest in life with, and they invest in life with you this is on a whole nother level. If you have a hard time apologizing to that person, you're gonna have a hard time apologizing to anybody.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything. You know what I'm saying? When the number one person you invest in life with, if you're having a
Mhm.
hard time with this or that, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a hard time with doing that with anybody.
Right. Right. I think that's something that the ladies definitely need to kind of practice a little bit more because there's too many men who say that women, and these are men who are in relationships. Some of them was actually in relationships and they're on the post saying, "No, women do not apologize. No, a woman has never apologized to me ever." Like that's kind of sad to see because I mean, I think a lot of women think they don't mess up. They don't
Man,
mess up, but when the man mess up, you want an apology. So
yeah.
I think the women definitely need to start kind of taking notes and take some accountability right there.
You better be careful because when women speak about stuff like that, you become a pick me to a lot of women.
It's
Which
all
is
right because
which
it's my opinion.
right, which is crazy, which is crazy though, because
And I'm a
which is
woman.
crazy. Yeah, which is crazy though, to be like, I understand what she's saying, but I'm still going to call her a pick me, or I'm still going to go again. Because a lot of times women know that is a bad thing to not take accountability. They just rather not do it. They just
Yeah.
rather not do it. Um, and that is what it is. If you go back, you can go back to the '90s R&B love, the whole '90s R&B love that was centered around men apologizing to women in their songs. How often have you heard women apologizing to a man in their
Apologizing to
song?
men in a
You know what I'm
song.
saying?
You're
It
right.
was men standing outside the window, like, I'm sorry, baby. This is what it's always been. But you ain't never really seen that energy from women in no video, no song too much, like hardly ever. And that's
Mhm.
that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah. It is, but even I noticed that as a woman, I noticed that like when I talk to certain women about as far as like relationships or like just talking about a situation that they might be having with a significant other, I do ask them like, well, maybe you should apologize for this, and some women have a hard time just saying I'm sorry.
Because it links because apology links to weakness. And this is one of the reasons why they've been conditioned. I'm not gonna say it links to weakness. They've been conditioned to believe that apology links to weakness. And so it's like, if I'm apologizing, that must mean I'm soft, I'm weak. And I don't want no dude to run over me. I don't want no dude to feel like he can walk over me with
Yeah.
me apologizing for this and that. And so that's a big thing.
Yeah. That's true. That's true, but that goes all in saying like you can't take things personally. So even if you don't get an apology, sometimes you can't take that personally. And I know it's like easier said than done because when somebody has wronged you, you really do at times want that apology. But sometimes you really just can't take things personally because it has nothing to do with you. It's about the person. Always about the person, never you.
Yeah, apologies don't negate it. Don't negate the issue. The issue can still stand, but you can be apologizing for like the way that you know what I'm saying, enter the whole situation.
Yeah.
That just because somebody apologized or you apologize doesn't mean we ignore the issue. We just come back to the issue and we handle it a different way.
Yeah, that's true. So I wanted to read this one about the do not take anything personally. So it says nothing others do is because of you. That's why you shouldn't. That's another reason why you shouldn't take things personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It's just sometimes who they are. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, of their own mentality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim. You won't be the victim. It's something blocking the word. But it just says that you shouldn't take things personally just because it has nothing to do with you. It's all about how the person is reacting. It's all about what how their reality is. And taking it personally, you just connect yourself to whatever issue they have.
Yeah.
But that was the second agreement. The third agreement is do not make assumptions. I think that's a huge one. That's another one that women do, always assume instead of asking and getting clarity about things. But that's a big one. Don't make it what you laugh for
What's
because you know it's true.
because
Women
I'm
assume
laughing
it.
because
'Cause
something
I
come to
know because I
mind.
do it.
You know what I'm saying? Something come to mind. I think the thing that come to mind with the don't make assumptions, and I actually did a whole topic on my live stream about it. When it comes to relationship, a lot of the times, and this is me. I talk about it all the time. A lot of the times when women feel like they didn't been cheated on, they not even in a relationship with the dude because he don't even know they together like that. He might think they
True.
just kicking it and chilling and doing whatever. And so the assumption that we go together or we in a relationship without actually having that discussion is one of the biggest assumptions that I feel like people make right now, especially when it
It
comes to
is.
relationships. Like, oh, he cheated on me. And he looking at it like, well,
Like
we
he's
never even sat
single.
down and said we was together. Yeah, like he's single. He like, I'm single. We just together. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. And the whole time, the assumption is because we spending time together and doing relationship stuff, we in a
Mhm.
relationship.
See,
That's a huge assumption.
women have to have that clarity. And I'm saying that coming
Yeah,
from a woman. Women have to have the clarity of what we are. Or we will assume. It's an automatic subconscious thing. We will assume what we are or what we're not. And we
I
could
think
be
it's
something
easier.
more than what I think. So
Yeah,
just saying like never to assume anything. Assuming something is like making up a whole story in your head with no proof and believing it.
yeah. It's easier for people to assume because if they get clarity, it might not be the answer that they want. And so I feel like it's easier to
Mhm.
assume something than to actually, because if you, my thing is this, if you dealing with somebody and the question comes up, I wonder if he feels the same way I feel or if we together, that's automatically a conversation right there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To assume anything is because you're afraid that the person might say, no, we're not in a relationship, like we just cool. And now now when that happens, you gotta make a point. You gotta make a decision. Either I'm gonna
Yeah.
let this continue to go like it is, or I gotta cut it off. And I feel like that's not the picture that they want to see or face. And so it's easy to just make the assumption.
Yeah. So Tommy just commented and said there's a different circles of people and depending on what a group has chose to educate themselves with social media and videos slash songs that what? That's a lot.
I don't even see it. Do a show on my side too.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, I can see it. It's little.
Okay.
I wear glasses.
He said you can see it a little bit.
Yeah, I could probably see it
He
on
said
here
great
though.
topic. Thank you, Tommy. I think a lot of unnecessary disagreements happen when people assume things.
Yeah. So yeah. So clarity, like you said, always look for clarity in every situation. Like try to get clarity if you can, because
So what if the person is not being clear about things? And then
on
that
like
can
on
lead
purpose,
to you
like on
assuming something.
purpose, like if they're
Yeah,
not being clear about stuff on
like
purpose,
purposely not.
then you already really got your answer. Like if you
Right.
ask a person like, hey, what are we?
And
And
they
they
don't
negate the
give you an answer.
question, you already have an answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my thing is, if he's really wanting you, or if she really wanting you, he gonna be like, man, I don't know, but what is it? Like, let's talk about it. Let's, you know what I'm saying? What is it gonna
Right.
be? But when you negate it, you know what I'm saying, you really already know what it is.
Stephanie said we do need clarity because if we sleep together, we go together.
That's not
And most
necessarily
women
true.
think like that. And I tried to tell most women think like that. Huh? Most women think like that though. It might not be true, but a lot of women think like that.
Yeah, and that's a
Let me
crazy way to
say.
think though. That's a crazy way to think. Like, why would you sleep with somebody in the first place without the clarity?
Yeah.
Like without even having the clarity, why would you even take that step if you feel like we go together and we see, like, you might as well get clarity first. Why do you think
Yeah.
they skip that step?
That could be the reason. That could be the
Yeah,
reason for some
yeah,
who
good
said that.
understanding. Pops is there. That's pops.
Oh, that's oh, my dad. My dad said that's why the word of God says with all you're getting understanding. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's understanding is definitely like that's definitely important. So, but I think it's important for a man to know that that's really how women are wired though.
that's why a lot of them
A
feel
lot of
cheated
women
on.
are wired like that.
That's
Huh?
why a lot of them feel cheated on, because
What?
they feel like we go together, and the dude is like, no, we don't.
So I want to add something to this. So going to what you were saying earlier about how, so my situation that I was in before,
Mhm.
we had an understanding, an agreement. We
Mhm.
at the beginning, before we got in any depth, anything.
Uh-huh.
She said she didn't want to be married again. She didn't want to have any children. She didn't want to be in a serious relationship.
Mhm.
And I was like, cool, we could do that. But once we got involved and in depth, something switched.
Emotions.
And we didn't
That's
have the conversation that we wanted. She
you
didn't
say
have a
you did it.
conversation with me
Uh-huh.
saying that, look, in order for us to move forward in this way and me not feel some kind of way, we need to have this conversation. So I'm moving about life
Mhm.
like off the agreement we had in the beginning.
Off the first agreement.
Yeah. So, and this was the first time in my life that I started lying to a woman. I'm like, cause she didn't want to hear the truth. So I'm like, I cared about her. So
Mhm.
I'll never do that again. I'll never go forward in any kind of situation with a woman and I have to lie or have to not be
Yeah.
myself in order for her to feel comfortable. I don't care about your comfort. I care about our honesty and
Mhm.
Yeah,
then your comfort.
Yeah.
Because if I can't be honest to you, your comfort don't matter.
Yeah. A lot of women, I think, like you said, y'all had an agreement in the beginning, and I think in a lot of relationships or whatever the situationships, those conversations don't really happen. Like they don't really happen. A lot of
yeah.
people rush right into it. Tommy said, "Oh, hold on." Stephanie said, "Depends on a man's intention." Tommy said, "Oh, wow, Stephanie, keep it real. You
I
feel
don't
that
see
way
his stuff.
always."
I see Stephanie comments. I don't see his though.
Yeah, I see Tommy's too. Yeah, I think it is.
Um,
It just has something to do with a different perspective. But a lot of women, like we go into a situation and you might have an agreement at the beginning, but once things do, like the levels of the relationship start to change, those agreements start to change too.
Affections and emotions
Yeah.
cause you to do stuff differently. So and I took
but
that
the
into accountability, but it, you still need to talk to me on the depth, because if you're still saying that you cool because you want to keep me,
Mhm.
then my brain is being is just going off of what you said,
Yeah.
not your feelings and emotions that I can't
That's why
read.
y'all need to check in every couple months. Check in, see
but
if
what
that
you
agreement
just
is
said,
still in place, or we need a new agreement in place.
yeah, but what you just said, you said once things go get going, the agreement changes. the thing is, an agreement is between two people, and sometimes it only changed for one person. So if
Yeah.
you can say the
Right.
agreement changes, it can't change unless the other person agree. And so it didn't change, you changed. The agreement didn't change, you changed.
That's
And so
true.
in order for
That's
the
why I
agreement to
said some
change, we
people
both
might need
gotta,
to check in every couple
yeah,
months just to see if that agreement is still in place or we need a
yeah.
new agreement.
Because if it was a
Like
dude,
one,
if it was the dude, it'll be if a woman told a dude, I ain't looking for nothing, and he catch feelings and be like, well, I want to be with you. She gonna be like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I didn't want to. That's how she's gonna move. She
That
gonna be like,
part.
see, that's what she gonna be like. That's what I'm talking about. I told you I didn't want that. But if a dude be like, no, then it's like, well, what you expect? I mean, we done been together. Like she gonna look at it like, what you expect?
Right. But when
yeah,
when when the dude do it, they're gonna treat you like you're a simp, like you doing something
Yeah.
weird.
Like, oh, he's stalking me
yeah,
now and this and it. Like he wants to be like, I mean, dudes, because I feel like dudes don't really have the right to have emotion like that. And
hmm
so it's like we don't have the right to have the emotion, but also we get penalized for not having the emotion. So
so it's
it's
like a
it's a
lose
it's
lose
yeah, it's a
situation.
difficult situation. If you got emotion, it's like, oh, see, he got this is what I'm talking about. He acting like a girl, too many emotions. If you don't show no emotions, then it's like I want a man that at least show some emotion. Like it's crazy because for a
We
dude,
always
it's
want
real
something that
difficult.
we don't. We always
Yeah,
want what we don't have.
yeah, yeah,
Always want something that we don't have. But let me read it about the do not don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just one agreement, you can completely transform your life. So that was the third one. Don't make assumptions. And I know, like I said, it's better, easier said than done because people are still going to do the same thing and make assumptions if you don't have any clarity.
yeah,
So let's go to the fourth one. The fourth agreement is always do your best. So with everything that you do, always put forth your best effort, whether it be relationships, whether it be business, whether it be fitness, always do your best. So the four agreements again is and this is for self reinvention. If anybody thinking about reinventing yourself, it's the beginning of the year. Like I said, most people at the beginning of the year they want to reinvent themselves for the rest of the year for this year. So in order to do that, like I said, I introduce you to this book, The Fourth Agreements. If you're into books, and I have the audio too, so if you don't like to read, maybe you like to listen, you might want to go ahead and download The Four Agreements. The first one is to be impeccable with your words, always speak life. The second one is don't take anything personally, which a lot of people do. We all do at some point take things personally, but in order to live a better life, you want to not take things so personally. You got to be able to let things go quickly. I think that's what that is. Let things go quickly. Don't get emotionally attached to what other people are doing or saying.
yeah. I
Don't
mean,
take it personally.
holding on to it only affects you. To be honest, it don't even affect
It
the other
does.
person. Yeah, it don't even
It
affect the
does.
other
It
person. You
never
might
affects the
think you
other
do.
person.
You might think you do or want it to, but it's affecting you way more than it is the other person.
It does. I don't think a lot of people understand that either. I don't think a lot of people hold on to stuff for a long time, for a long time.
Yeah,
So yeah, don't make assumptions and always do your best. So one of the like I know a lot of women that starting to work on themselves, and one of the people that I follow that is really good with helping you to reinvent yourself and give you the information as a woman that you would need. I follow a woman by the name of Afnan Khalifa. Afnan Khalifa is like a really good coach for just helping women kind of get through whatever like as far as business. She's really good in business, but as far as like life coaching, giving you some good tips and good skills, she's a good person that I follow. um but yeah, if you want to have a healthier life, you have to be around people who have healthier hobbies. That's a big one. Cause I meet a lot of people in the gym, a lot of interesting people in the gym. If you want new friends and all that, I always advocate to go work out, go to the gym because you
yeah,
meet a lot of interesting people. A lot. Have y'all been working out?
Who? Us?
You and the wife? Yeah.
Not as much as we need as we want to. Not as much as we want to. We were just talking about it actually earlier.
Yeah. Who said that? Dad said stay teachable. Stephanie
Yeah.
said people hold on to hurt. It's not healthy at all. It's not healthy at all. But we do it all the time. We do it unconsciously. And the only thing that really help us get through that is being aware of it. A lot of people not even aware that they're holding on to hurt or to trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's that?
You don't know you holding on to something until you try to let it go. that's when you when
Yeah.
it's hard to let it go, that's when you realize you've been
And
holding
it's
on to it.
always some type of trigger. It's always
Yeah.
some type of trigger. I feel like it's always some type of test that will like trigger you to see if you really let it go or if you just kind of like,
Yeah. I
yeah,
spoke
like you
about
just
that. Yeah.
buried it a little bit, but you still hold on to
I
it.
talked about that with healing. A lot of people that say they on this healing journey or they healed, I say you really don't know you healed until it's been triggered. Like
Yeah.
just because you can suppress it and nothing has triggered it, don't mean you heal. You don't know you healed until like something really happens to
Till
trigger it,
you
and
get
then how you
triggered.
respond to it will
'Cause I
let you
think
know
I'm
if you
healed
healed.
all the time. I swear I always feel like I'm healed until I get triggered the wrong way. Now, I done had some triggers where I passed that test and I'm like, yeah, that was just a test trying to see if I'm still gonna pop off or if I'm still gonna do the same thing. But I've had some triggers where unconsciously it's like the reaction come back and then I have to become aware that I reacted, the same way I used to. And then that's when I'm like, okay, that was a trigger.
Yeah,
That's when I
it
realized
just
it was a trigger.
it's just because it's easy. I mean, something can lie dormant for years. It can lie dormant for a long time, and it'll look like it's healing. It just hasn't been touched. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think and everybody got them. Everybody has triggers. I think even
mhm.
if you are healed, even if you can be the most healed person, but I feel like we all have triggers. We all have something that will really get to you. Now you got things that you didn't got over. I know a lot of stuff that I didn't got over, I didn't get past, but it's still things that definitely will trigger me. Not as much as maybe in the past, but I have noticed it, and that's because I'm like aware of it, more
So how did you
aware of
get
it.
over it? How did you what is the technique you use to get over something?
So my number one thing is just self-improvement. Trying to improve myself so I won't be the same person that I was when I was going through it. I think that's huge. Like once you progress into a new person, you're not the same person that you was when you was going through it. That's another reason why I work out so hard because I have the mindset that I don't even want to look like the same person that was going through
Yeah.
what I was going through. So that helps me to kind of heal and get over
Okay.
things.
Okay.
Who said that? Dad said holding on to certain things you should let go of. You really just being stuck in a place that's not good for you and you really just hurting yourself. Yeah, we said that too.
Yeah.
And Tara Lisa said, be the better version of yourself. I think that's the goal for most people to always try to be the better version of themselves. Huh? Oh, Tommy Boy said I have a good person that can help people. Juice the Truth, the new life coach. Coming soon. I am. I'm a go get that certificate like you said. Yeah, but that's what it is. Like a lot of us, if we became more aware of what we were doing and some of the things that we have been holding on to, some of our traumas, then we're able to kind of work through them. But like I said, a lot of people don't even know that they're holding on to trauma. A lot like they've been holding on to it so long that it's become a part of them.
Yeah. And now when something becomes a part of you, anything that tries to take that away from you or change it is going to bother you because now it's a part of you.
And that includes includes growth, that includes
Yeah.
progress, because you have to let those things go in order to progress. So you won't be able to progress until you let certain things go. But it's gonna be hard for you to do that if you're not even aware that it's there.
Yeah.
Said, who's that? Tara Lisa said, though that's true triggers. That's true. Triggers will poke the bear. That's exactly what they do. They just try to get to you to see if you're still gonna react the same way. But yeah, it's a lot of that. I just wanted to really just kind of encourage people to move forward, move on, have something to stand on. And these four agreements should be a start for you. If you don't know where to start in trying to reinvent yourself, start with the four agreements. Those would
Mhm.
definitely help you to progress. We do have like some events that are coming up this year. I know the next event, the next big event here is Clarissa Shields is fighting again February 22nd. So y'all might want to go get y'all tickets for that fight February 22nd at the Little Caesars Arena.
Okay.
Um yeah, I had asked G about the TED Talk. You was telling me about the TED Talk. I said I want to do a TED Talk. Do you know anything about TED Talks?
What's the TED Talk? What you mean?
So it's a platform. Can you explain it?
I mean, from what I know, if it's the same thing as what I've seen, which is a platform like on stage,
Hmm.
I don't
Yes,
know if it's the same thing though.
that's what she's speaking of.
I know they do it in Detroit. Is it in Detroit?
It's everywhere. It's a national
Okay.
platform. So in different communities, they have all types of different TED talks,
Hmm.
and they have people that are proficient in whatever they're speaking of, whether it be with science or
Okay. Yeah.
STEM or contracting, whatever the technology. So TED, they just want to have intellectual conversations and triggering conversations that cause people to think
Yeah.
and not stay stagnant in where they are or show growth.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I heard of it.
Yeah. I said I'm gonna do a TED Talk one day. I'm not for sure when yet though, but it's gonna happen.
You
What you
should.
think? You think I'll be able to do it?
Yeah, you should.
Definitely.
Especially if you, I feel like especially if you're comfortable with speaking in front of crowds. You know what I'm saying? In front of people.
Yeah. I think it's different when you speak like in front of a camera versus when you speak in
It
front
is.
of a crowd of people because
It is.
you see the
People
eyes
feel
that's
like
on you. With the
people
camera,
feel
you don't
like because
necessarily
they
see
on the camera or they on social media that it's easy to do it in person, and it's a lot of people
it.
don't even
Yeah.
realize it's not the same thing.
We're gonna get there though. We're gonna get there. But thank you for chiming in and going over these. I hope that, that was a conversation that you would take into consideration because I did. It helped me. And if you
Yeah,
I know you say you haven't read the book, but like I said, I listen to the audios
it's a different
when I
book I
don't have
read.
time to read it. Huh?
So it's a different book I read that gives me a lot of wisdom.
I hear. I
It's a
hear.
different book I read. I feel like it's the ultimate book, but I'll definitely check it out. I'll definitely check it
It
out.
is. It just gives you some good pointers. Some good pointers. And
Yeah,
I know your book give you great pointers, but
life.
it's just a diverse of information. A diverse of information. But it's a good book, a
Yeah,
good self-help book. So
I
I
want to know what book
appreciate it.
he's talking about. What book are you talking about that gives
It's
you
the
this
it's the
information?
the
it's
number
the
one
only
book.
book. It's the only book that supersedes every other book. The Bible.
Okay,
It
tell us
supersedes
about it a
every
little
other
bit.
every other book that has come out, especially if it's inspirational or motivational. Probably the source of that book comes from the Bible.
That's true.
So the person who wrote the Four Agreements probably familiar with the Bible, especially if they talking about watch how you say your words. If they talking
Yeah.
about don't take
I
stuff
think they
personal,
just
always do
put
your
it in
best.
a way for like
Yeah, for people to
maybe because
understand it.
there are people who don't want to read the Bible, but
Right.
they'll read a book. You know
They'll
what I'm
read a
saying?
book,
So
which is
taking out some
but
of that
but look at it
information,
that way. I will
huh?
read the I said which is crazy because look at it that way. I
Yeah.
would rather read this book instead of the book that inspired this book.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Not
read the book
everybody
that's
think about
inspired
that
by
though.
it. Yeah, I'd
Not
rather read the
everybody
book that's
not
inspired by
everybody
it.
think like that. I
They
think
don't.
a lot of people in a way could be intimidated about reading the Bible.
Yeah, they got different, and then they got versions that make it easier to understand, and they got like books that
Yeah.
actually where it's not the Bible, but it's scripture based, and it has, you know what I'm saying. Like I've been teaching Noella, where if you just want to talk, if you just want to learn about, you know what I'm saying, healing, it's scripture that just talk about healing and actually inspire you and motivate you. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it like we read a lot of stuff that's inspired by that instead of going to the actual source. Like if you in the streets, either you want to be the middleman or you want to be the or you want to meet the plug. Which one you want? Like
Yeah,
what's the most beneficial? You know what I'm saying? What's the most beneficial? I want to go straight to the source, and so that's
yeah,
where I go with it.
that's true. Look at you, Pastor Ronell.
Hey, I've been learning a lot. I mean, it's stuff that I've already known. It's just actually like now taking it serious and
And you
being
can
in
tell
tune with it.
you've been eating. That's what it sounds like. You've been eating, feeding
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. But thank you for chiming in and thank you for giving us that motivational speech that you just gave us. Make
I
me want to go
appreciate
read
it.
the Bible a little bit more. But
I
even though
appreciate it.
I have, I've been, every day I try to read something from the Bible for sure.
Yeah. I
So
appreciate being on. I mean, just here's about I always plug it on whatever platform or live stream I'm on at some point. In some point, I'm gonna plug it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. I'm probably getting ready to do my live.
I'm gonna have to tap in and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get head up out of here. Thank y'all for chiming in. Who's that? Stephanie, Tara Lisa, and Tara Lisa just left here. And we had a great conversation. Thank you, Tara Lisa. Tommy and my dad.
Yep. I appreciate having me on. Let me know anytime.
Yep, we'll see you next week, next Wednesday. Juice the truth.
Okay. See y'all later.